Welcome back to Hardball. Tributes continue to pour in for the civil rights icon Julian Bond, who died this weekend. President Obama said in a statement, quote, "Julian Bond was a hero, and I'm privileged to say a friend. He helped change this country for the better, and what better way to be remembered than that?" That's a nice statement. A founder of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, SNCC, Bond was elected to the Georgia General Assembly at the age of 25. 3 years later came this dramatic moment. I'll never forget it. The Democratic National Convention in Chicago, when Julian Bond's name was put in nomination for vice president.
We wish to offer in nomination the wave of the future. It may be a symbolic nomination tonight, but it may not be symbolic 4 years hence. We offer a nomination with the greatest pleasure, the name of Julian Bond.
Boy, did he look good then. He was only like 28. I think he wasn't even legal enough to be vice presidential nominee. You have to be 30 to do that. You have to be 30 to do that. Anyway, Julian Bond went on to become chairman of the NAACP. He remained a strong champion of civil rights, as we all know. In recent years, he spoke out passionately in favor of same-sex marriage. Here he is.
When someone asks me, are gay rights civil rights? My answer is always, of course they are. Gay and lesbian rights are not special rights in any way. It isn't special to be free from discrimination. It is an ordinary universal entitlement of citizenship.
That's why he had 25 honorary degrees. The man could speak clearly about what it is to be an American. Anyway, voting rights remained a defining issue for him. I spoke to him in June of 2013, not long ago, the day the Supreme Court gutted the great Voting Rights Act of '65.
This is Justice Roberts' dream. He's been trying to do this since he was in the Reagan Justice Department as a younger lawyer, and it's finally made his dream come true. He's been able to maneuver the Supreme Court so that they've gutted the Voting Rights Act, just as you said, made it impossible to block attempts to suppress black voting. This is a good deal for the Republicans. It's an awful deal for the United States.
I'm joined right now by Dr. Amos Brown, actually a board member of the NAACP and a one-time student of Dr. Martin Luther King at Morehouse College. Julian Bond was also in that class with him. Actually, they were classmates. And Ari Berman is the author of Give Us the Ballot, The Modern Struggle for Voting Rights in America. Gentlemen, we only have a little time, but you first, Dr. Brown, tell us about this man's role in history and how you knew him personally. Give us the insight on him.
Well, he was a very gentle, scholarly, and well-cultured man. And I am saddened that my very close friend is no longer with us. He was catapulted into doing great things because of the upbringing that he received in his father's home, where he saw and heard that he composed the talented 10th that Du Bois spoke about. That was to be a missionary group to the 90% of African Americans who need to be enfranchised, need to be educated, and given the opportunity to enjoy all of the amenities of this nation.
A natural leader. Let me go to Ari Berman. You're doing great work on this, Ari, more recently talking about him. Talk about him, his role in terms of gay rights as well. How did he fit into the contemporary arguments?
Well, he was so important in terms of civil rights broadly. He was always for voting rights. He embraced gay rights. And if you look at Julian Bond and the Voting Rights Act, he was someone who was present at the creation of the Voting Rights Act. He was SNCC's communications director in Selma, Alabama. He was one of the first black elected officials after the passage of the VRA in 1965. And then 50 years later, he was still engaged in this battle, as you mentioned, criticizing the Roberts Court's gutting of the Voting Rights Act, urging the Congress to restore the VRA. And so it was sad that right before Julian's passing, he felt like he was fighting life all over again, that people like him and John Lewis were engaged with the same battles that they thought they had won 50 years earlier.
And then we keep celebrating what they're already tearing apart. Anyway, I interviewed him about the Voting Rights Act and voter suppression efforts like these phony ID laws across the country. Here's what Julian Bond had to say this is his warning to the Republican Party. Let's watch him.
So you have to have them ask themselves, do we want to see a Republican president elected in the next decade or so? Do we want 20 years from now there to be a Republican president of the United States? If we do, we've got to change our behavior. We've got to be attractive to black voters. We've got to be attractive to Hispanic voters. And the way we're behaving now, we're not attractive to either one. In fact, we're repulsive to both of them.
You know, Dr. Brown, younger people than you and I don't know the fact that back in 1964 and 65, overwhelmingly the Republicans in the House and Senate supported civil rights and voting rights. It was the Dixiecrats who stood against it, and now the Republican Party has taken on the old role of Dixiecrat.
Well, there had to be someone who would stop our progress that we fought for so hard. And I must say that Julian was not just concerned about civil rights for black people, but he was concerned about human rights for all people. He learned that in Dr. King's class, where Dr. King taught us something about personalism. That is, that all persons are to be respected as having worth and dignity, and then in this nation, there should be liberty and justice for all, and all meant all.
Back to you, Ari. Is this fight over voting rights and all this game playing by these state assemblies, by the Republicans and the legislatures, one after another, following the Alex organization, they go around finding ways to screw the black voter? And it's as simple as that. I'm not saying they do it because they're black. They do it because they think they're all Democrats. It's partisanship. I'm not calling it racism. It's partisanship. Is this going to stop or keep going?
Well, it's going to keep going in 2016, unfortunately, Chris, because this is the first presidential election in 50 years without the full protections of the Voting Rights Act. And so you're going to see in states like North Carolina, Wisconsin, new voting restrictions are going to be in effect. They're going to be more difficult to be challenged. And Julian told me that he believed that voting rights were untouchable. He thought we had moved past this issue. And he was shocked at how brazen the Republicans had been in recent years in pursuing these new restrictions, in gutting the Voting Rights Act. And he's absolutely right that voter suppression is a short-term strategy. You can't ultimately prevent everybody from voting who doesn't agree with you. But unfortunately, that is the strategy the Republican Party has chosen and is pursuing for the 2016 election.
Well, think of it this way. It's even worse. States like Pennsylvania, where I come from, where our ancestors fought the Civil War and many, many thousands of them died to end this kind of crap. You've got their current Republicans out there fighting against voting rights. It's a shame. It's worse than a shame. Thank you, Dr. Amos Brown, for joining us for the memory of Julian Bond, a great man who just died. And I'm glad we could salute him tonight. And Ari Berman, thank you. Ari's book's called Give Us About. It's too bad we can't do these eulogies and tributes before somebody does pass away. They'd get to hear what they deserve to hear.